that's what it sounds like to go through the quarter mile in 10 seconds. And I did it lots with my hot rod that I built back in the early 70s when I just got out of college, and it was my daily driver, and it was street legal. And a lot of you were asking, saw it on the channel, I did a little short on it, and we're asking how come it was so fast? Well, first of all, it only weighed 1,700 pounds. It had a 408 Ford Cleveland motor. Everything I could do to that motor, I did. I had friends that helped me, and a wonderful Ford dealership that sponsored me, and we had a lot of fun. Now, this was the muscle car era. A lot of those muscle cars did the quarter mile in 13 and 14 seconds. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when you beat a car doing 10 seconds that does 14 seconds. Watch this. Well, now you can see I couldn't even see those cars when I raced them in my rearview mirror when I hit the end of the quarter mile. There's a huge difference between 10 seconds and 14 seconds in a quarter mile. And I wanted to show you that because I experienced it lots. And I never ever got a ticket with this car. I didn't have to drive it fast. Everybody knew it was fast, and it was hard on gas too, so I didn't drive it fast. But it was amazing. I home built it myself. It used a 41 International truck frame with a solid front axle. I reworked the spindles so I could adapt the 4 drum brakes on the front. And it had a 355 gear ratio rear end with Positrack. Now this thing really flew through the quarter mile. It was so light, and that engine was making serious horsepower. Now I'm going to go through all the things that we did to this motor. It was a 408 Ford Cleveland motor. It was 40 over, 12.5 TRW compression pistons, forged rods, and a Crane high-performance solid lifting cam. Had roller rocker arms, hardened double springs on the valves, had a Mallory dual point ignition, and they had an XL super coil with high density spark plug wires. Had an Offenhauser aluminum high rise, a dual port because I had a Holley 1100 CFM 3-barrel. A lot of people haven't heard much about them, but that's an amazing carburetor. Now to get all that horsepower to the ground, I used a C5 tranny. I had Ensign clutches in it, 3000 stall torque converter, B&M shift kit and throttle body, 4-core tranny cooler. The guys at the dealership did a lot of quarter mile racing, so they schooled me on what I needed, and they knew what they were doing. And it did. It ran so good. It handled. It was really, really fast. I had a lot of help from a lot of guys. My fastest run on the quarter mile drag was 9.86 at 137 miles an hour. I did that at Saskatoon International Raceway, and we had a lot of fun in those days. Now, these guys are really good because my car should have been in B altered class, but because it was street legal, I was allowed to run against all the muscle cars. And there was no competition really because the car was so quick and so fast and handled. I mean, I would drive it an hour and a half from home to the racetrack to go racing, and I wouldn't do a thing. I just pull it on and I left it in drive. I just hit the throttle. It would just go through all the gears. It would hardly spin. And the best run that I made with it, I actually borrowed a set of slicks, and they were 15-inch Bridgestones. And that's when I did my best run at 9.8. And it was amazing. Everybody was cheering. It was really a good time. And doing this video brings back such amazing memory of driving that car a long, long time ago. But I had a young family and was buying a starter home, and I had to sell it. I got $4,500 for it and paid $12,900 for my first starter house. Now that house was 1,000 square feet. Now I just talked to a buddy of mine that built a 1,000 square foot house, and it cost him almost $400,000. So that car in today's standards would have to bring a little over $100,000. So I did very well way back then. Now these are the only 2 pictures I had of that car. I searched high and low for another picture that I had the day I sold the car. I had a picture in front of the house, but I couldn't find it. But what I did find is this. It's a topo map from when I used to hunt elk way up north. And this is how I used to get in there. And so I'm going to make the next video on hunting elk back in the Sincere Hills. Now it was ugly country, but got some really, really nice elk there, and I guess I can do another video on when I went in there hunting for them. So it wasn't all bad that I didn't find the picture of the car, but I did find something else. I found the book to my gun safe, and I'd forgotten the combo a long time ago, so guess what? I have the combo now. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.